Hey everybody, it's Dr. Amy Myers. How are you guys doing? Happy, what's today? Sunday. Hope everybody had a fabulous Thanksgiving. Hope that they had time with their family. If you traveled, perhaps you were on your way home or now safe and sound home. So we were at the Isle of Palms in Charleston, outside of Charleston, South Carolina with my family. We came home last night. I guess it was a couple of days ago, I was talking about how to survive the holidays, both for your gut and your stress levels. And one of the things that I talked about was getting home a day early so that I had a day to prepare before the week started. And then, of course, here I am doing a Facebook Live on Sunday. We were just at our storage unit trying to get all of our Christmas ornaments. We're going to go get a tree here shortly this afternoon. It's warm and sunny. It's gorgeous in Austin, but certainly not cool like it's time for Christmas. But anyway, I hope everybody had a great holiday and that you're ready to hit the ground running for December and the rest of the holidays. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, I'm Amy Myers, Dr. Amy Myers. I'm the New York Times bestselling author of The Autoimmune Solution and The Thyroid Connection. I'm also the medical director of Austin Ultra Health. So below, tell me where you're from. And please give a shout out. And if you hear any screeching in the background, that's my daughter, Elle, who is definitely has her voice these days. As we move into the holidays, holidays are about sharing, caring, celebrating, and giving. And so I want you to know that I am celebrating you for committing to your health, and that I'm also giving you a great big discount on all of my supplements on my online store for Black Friday all the way through Cyber Monday. So the sale ends tomorrow night at midnight Central Standard Time, and it's 20% off all supplements, programs, and ebooks. So it's the biggest sale that I ever have of the year, and it's the best deal that I ever offer. So please hop on over to my store if you're interested, and you can, a shortcut is amymd.io/Cyber Monday, and you can start shopping. So what we're going to be talking about today is why everybody needs supplements. You might be wondering, well, do I need to take all these supplements? What's all this hype about? I've read articles saying supplements aren't worth their money, all that kind of stuff. And so we're going to be talking about, why I do believe that everybody needs supplements. There are 4 key supplements that I recommend everybody take. My daughter, Elle, has been taking them since the day she was born. Javier and I take them every single day. So why you need those supplements and how to look for high quality supplements, what to look for in supplements, and then my top supplements besides the key 4 essentials. So let's see, we have Rose from the UK. Hello. We have Becky from Boulder City, Nevada. She's with ulcerative colitis. And is there anything I can recommend? We'll be talking more about that here shortly, but certainly if you haven't read The Autoimmune Solution and followed the program there, I would absolutely recommend that, giving up gluten and dairy. And then there's some key supplements I'll be talking about, like L-glutamine and collagen, that are excellent for the gut. Of course, a very, very high quality probiotic. We have Valerie from Midland, Texas, Janice from Kentucky. Hello. Michelle from New Orleans. That's where I'm from. How you doing? Patrina from Illinois. Let's see. Michelle from Oklahoma. Brenda from California. Janet's back to school tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Thankfully, we haven't gotten into the school days yet, but we will in no time flat. They say, when you have a baby, the time flies, and my goodness, does it fly. Hello, Amanda from Dallas and Cindy from Oklahoma. Let's see, Trisha from New Jersey. She was doing great since she finished the Candida challenge that we offered in September, but she fell off the wagon over the last 4 days, and she's excited to get back on track. Well, definitely, if you didn't check out my Facebook Live that I did a few days ago, go check that out, because I talk about how to prevent falling off the wagon and then what to do if you do fall off the wagon. Brenda from Tennessee, Jenny from California, Sharon from Mississippi, Catherine from Dallas. All right, everybody, we're going to get going here on exactly why I believe it's important that everybody take supplements, how to find a good quality supplement, all that kind of stuff. Don't forget all of my supplements on my online store. My gift to you so that you can take back your health is 20% off everything on my store except for body products. So that's all supplements, ebooks, and and e-programs are available 20% off between now and tomorrow night. And hey guys, the deal is the same whether you buy now or tomorrow night at the very last minute. We always have this mad dash there. So a couple things I want to say. There is extra help at our fulfillment center and over the weekend. So the earlier you buy, the earlier and the quicker you will get your orders. All the orders that took place on Friday and Saturday already went out. So that was exciting news. And you know, this is while supplies last. Now, we did stock up on everything, knowing that this is the biggest sale of the year, but there is a potential for certain things to run out, if not, you know, potentially everything to run out. So please head on over if you're interested. All right, so why should we take supplements in the first place? Well, our soil is depleted. You know, I saw this firsthand when I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Paraguay, that, you know, farmers were, and of course I knew nothing about anything back then, but farmers were constantly using pesticides and growing the same crops that were really difficult on the soil, like cotton, over and over and over again. And then farmers were finding that they could no longer, when they went to go grow that crop or tried to grow another crop, they could no longer do it, and they would have much lower yields because there was nothing being put back into the soil. So part of the reason that I was down there in the Peace Corps was helping them to do more sustainable practices like organic farming, not using all those pesticides, and crop rotation, so that they could not have crops that were stealing as much from the soil. But, you know, most big agribusiness is not doing that, and the soil is super depleted. So that's number one, our food. And there are studies on this. Our food is not as nutrient dense as what our parents, grandparents, and certainly our great grandparents ate because of big pharma. And we're growing lots and lots of the same crops over and over and over again. And then we're spraying tons of pesticides. Then most of us have leaky gut. So, you know, it's not really you are what you eat, but it's really what you are what you digest and absorb. And many people are not absorbing their nutrients as well as they should be. And I see this day in and day out in my clinic, where people get, you know, come to me and they actually are able to do nutrient testing. And I even have people who, you know, are just kind of eating. Nobody ever is coming to me eating really poorly. Most people read books and they eat what they think is eating well, or they're either, you know, already have been doing like a paleo lifestyle or something, and they come to me and we do nutrient testing. And even many of them, if not most all of them, are still nutrient deficient. And that is because it's not really you are what you eat, but it's what you digest and absorb. And many of these people are coming in and they already have leaky gut, candida, SIBO, and they're not able to absorb their nutrients properly from their foods. So, you know, and then we already have nutrient depleted soil. Then we're living in a toxic world. So I did a Facebook Live about a week or so ago when I was announcing that I'm a beauty counter consultant now, which is sort of like Avon, but, well, it's very much like Avon, but it's non-toxic makeup. So if anybody's interested, my team will post a link there. They have great gifts for the holidays. So if you're looking to change over your makeup, Beauty Counter is an incredible way to do that. And if you're interested in starting a business, you can become a consultant. But anyway, as part of my announcement, I did an entire Facebook Live about our toxic exposure that is happening now, and that it's coming from our air, our food, our water, and you know, our body products and our cleaning products. So you can go back and check that out. That should be in my Facebook feed or under videos. It's probably also hopefully on my YouTube channel as well. So you can go back and check that out. So I won't spend a ton of time, but we're being exposed to a higher level of toxin these days. And then we're all stressed out. So you add all of these things together and, you know, we're having nutrient depleted soil. We're not absorbing everything. We're having to counteract all these toxins. And then we're dealing with all kinds of stress that we were never dealing with before. And so between all of these things, we are either not getting the nutrients we need, we're not absorbing the nutrients that we are getting, or in order to get rid of toxins or counteract this stress, we're burning through the nutrients that we have. So all of those factors together is really just creating a situation where we do not have, you know, the nutrients that we should. Either we're not getting them or we are getting them, but we're burning through them. So That is probably my number one reason that I would say that you need to, most everybody, if not everybody, in my opinion, I certainly recommend all of my patients take 4 basic supplements, and I'll get into those, but very quickly. It's going to be a very high quality multivitamin, a good fish oil, a probiotic, and usually vitamin D, and I recommend it with vitamin K. Beatrice is asking if we ship to Europe. Yes, we ship worldwide. Melanie's asking about Australia and to Melbourne. Hey, Maria, I'll be in Melbourne next year in April. So, and Melanie, I'll be in Australia. So yes, we ship worldwide. My team can help you with that. My team also is available extra hours. So big shout out to my team. They've been working frantically along with me all weekend to help you guys out. So they're available until 7 Central Standard Time every night. And tomorrow night, they'll be available until midnight Central Standard Time. So they're available by phone call, but of course we like live chats. If you go to my store, something will pop up, and either James, Sarah, James, Susan, Carol, or Tori will be there available to help you out. Or of course, you can also submit a ticket and they'll be able to help you out. They should be able to check into the shipping rate for you. And we have a big announcement, which is that I'm going to have a new store that will be launching in January that's going to make checkout much easier and also help us with shipping rates. So we've been a little bit limited with our shipping rates around the world, although I just got news that shipping rates for the entire country for all the various U.S. Postal Service, FedEx, UPS, all that stuff is going up. That has nothing to do with us. They're just going up independently. But we will have much better options for international shipping in January. So excited about that. All right. So back to, the first reason why you need to take supplements is just we are not getting the nutrients that we need. And the second reason, or that's really the first reason of why I want you to take supplements. Now, there are so many different supplements out there, right? I mean, Amazon's starting to create a supplement line. There's, things, you can go to the health food store. You can buy something online. You can go to your doctor's office. I mean, I don't know the billions of dollars, but the supplement industry is a gazillions of dollar industry, and it's an unregulated industry. So if you listen to my talk about the beauty industry, which is a regulated industry, but unregulated by the FDA. It's regulated by the Cosmetic Review Committee. And the same goes for supplements, an unregulated industry. The FDA is not regulating the supplement industry. So you really need to do your research. All supplements are not created equal. So you really need to find a person or a brand that you trust. And what you need to look for when you're looking to figure out who do you trust out there, because this is a gigantic industry, is really looking for somebody who has pharmaceutical grade supplements. So I always tell my patients, if you're not going to buy supplements from me, because I never want somebody to feel like the only way to get well is to buy something from me. That's not true. But I do want you to have pharmaceutical grade supplements. So if you don't get something from me or another physician that's carrying pharmaceutical supplements, so I use my medical license to produce and carry the supplements that I have on my website. So in order to, and we'll get into this, many of the supplements that I carry have much higher quality and quantity per unit in them, which is why they're considered pharmaceutical grade. They can't be sold over the counter. And so in order to do that, if I'm carrying a supplement that's been formulated for me, I have to show them my medical license. A lot of my supplements, I actually formulate myself. And so I've created them myself, like my multivitamin, where I've picked every single ingredient, and I can only do that with my medical license. So other people that can carry things with a medical license are a pharmacist. So if you go to a compounding pharmacy, here in Austin, Texas, we have People's Pharmacy. So they typically are able to use the pharmacist license to carry higher quality and quantity type supplements or pharmaceutical grade. Not always. I mean, it depends on, again, on the compounding pharmacy that you go to. They could have low grade supplements all the way up to really high grade supplements, and some only carry high grade supplements. But anyway, I just want you to know, and that's what I tell people when they, for whatever reason, don't want to get something from me, is to get something from a compounding pharmacy. But you want to look for pharmaceutical grade supplements. I mean, one, it's giving you a bit better assurity that it's coming from a physician or a pharmacist, and that usually, again, they are higher quality and higher quantity per pill than regular supplements that are sold, say, even at Whole Foods, or certainly at Target or Walmart or Costco, one of those places. I love Costco. I mean, if you know me and you've heard me on any of these Facebook Lives, I even buy lots of my clothes at Costco and Target, okay? So I love them, but not for supplements. They have tons of great organic food. They have fabulous clothes. They have toys for kids. There's a lot of things that Costco and Target are wonderful for, but not your supplements. You also want to look for something called the GMP seal, which is the Good Manufacturing Practices seal, which means that the manufacturers have evaluated the purity, the quality, the strength, and the composition. So every time I produce a supplement, it has to go through all kinds of testing, and then we get a certificate of, of basically verifying that it is what it says it is. So we have those certificates showing this is what it says it is. It has in it what it says it is. So when I was formulating my multivitamin, I picked all the ingredients and picked all of the various forms, like B vitamins. Anytime you get B vitamins on my website or you get them from my multivitamin, they're always going to have the pre-methylated B vitamins. So methacobalamin rather than cyanocobalamin. It's going to have methotetrahydrofolate or folate rather than folate acid. So they're going to have the more bioavailable forms. And then we have a certificate showing that, this is exactly what that is. So it's very important that you see that seal or a statement on the website or wherever you're getting it that shows that it's been through. They can show that it truly is what it says that it is. It proves that the supplement is safe to take and that it is exactly what it says it is. You also want to look for third-party testing to ensure that the ingredients, again, are what they say they are. They're as pure as they say that they are. There's not added ingredients, extra things in there that you don't want, and that the potency is, in fact, accurate. And typically, say like fish oils, that it doesn't have those unwanted ingredients like mercury. So fish oils, it's super important that those are getting third-party tested, that there's no heavy metals, because that's, they're stored, the heavy metals like mercury is stored in the fish's fat. And then, it can come out when you're producing fish oils. So you want to make sure that somebody can tell you that their fish oils are third-party tested. They're proving that there's no mercury left in them. And then, a lot of supplements can have heavy metals, particularly things coming over from Asia, from China, from India, herbs and spices, because either the soil content and how they're grown or how they are then purified down into a supplement. So you need to be very cognizant of that. And then you also want to really look at cost per unit. So I talked about this 2 days ago when I did a Facebook Live, or I can't really remember when I did the Facebook Live, but anyway, maybe my team can post that. When I was talking about the example of probiotics. So when we're looking at probiotics, for example, so here's our probiotic, and our probiotic is 100 billion units, okay? But it's, well, this is 30 billion. We have a 30 billion and 100 billion. And a couple things to know when you're looking at probiotics. You want to make sure that they are, what they say they are. You want to make sure that they have the strains that have been proven to actually, in my case, what we do is strains that are really proven to help support the immune system, because most of the people that are seeing me have autoimmunity. And of course, nearly 80% of your immune system sitting in your gut. You want to show that they are proved their potency, and really the potency at the time of expiration, not the potency at the time of manufacture. So every probiotic that I've ever seen out on the counter, if it does even guarantee the potency, it's at the time of manufacture. And you don't know by the time it gets to, the warehouse, then by the time it gets to the store where you bought it, then by the time you get it, and by the time you finish the bottle, how many are left if they're only guaranteeing the potency at the time of manufacture. So I fell prey to this myself one time where I was traveling, and this was years ago, and I think the probiotics had 20 billion units, and it was at the time of manufacture. So ours are double, or triple. of the potency at the time of manufacture, so that by the time of expiration, they are guaranteed to be the amount that they say they are. So, just the other day in my clinic, I had somebody coming in and she had bought a probiotic, and I think it was 2 billion units. And to get 30 billion, which is the amount for maintenance, or 100 billion, which is the amount that I recommend if somebody has any type of digestive issue going on, like leaky gut or candida or SIBO or something like that, then I typically want my patients to have 100 billion units. She literally would have had to take 2 bottles to equal one of the amount that we have. So you really need to take that into account as cost per unit. So when you're dealing with looking at supplements and you're going to buy over the counter, sometimes over the counter can appear cheaper because compared to something that is pharmaceutical grade, because again, the pharmaceutical grade is going to have much more in it, because say, for example, on my store, I can, because I'm using my medical license, going to have much higher dosages in it than something over the counter. It's like buying, it's like buying cold medicine over the counter, or buying Motrin, for example. You can get prescription Motrin of 800 milligrams as a prescription, but over the counter, the most they can ever sell is 200 milligrams. So you'd have to take, 4 pills over the counter of Motrin to equal 1 prescription. And then so, depending on, what it costs you for the prescription versus, what it costs you over the counter, you have to take 4 pills. So this is the exact same thing that you need to be thinking about when you're looking and you come, say, to my website and you're looking just for probiotics. And I actually highly encourage you to go out and do this, is to, look for a probiotic that has 100 billion units like ours, guarantees it at the potency at the time of expiration, not manufacture, and tell me that you can find one that's, cheaper cost per unit. Is going to be very, very difficult. So just something for you to look at, and that I always encourage all of my patients to do, that is, shop around and make sure that you're really that you really are, in most cases, my dad used to always say, you get what you pay for. And it's much better to have one really good thing than a bunch of really cheap things. And when it comes to supplements, particularly if you're somebody with a chronic health condition, this is not something you want to mess around with. I mean, I can attest, again, I'm a practicing physician, so I have thousands of patients that have taken these supplements, and I have tracked them and seen them get well. And so, and there are probably people on here giving testimonials, just, knowing that, that they've, taken some of my supplements, and often somebody will tell me that they, love, various, supplements that we sell. So, okay. So, and I'll be answering questions at the end. I see there are a lot of questions popping up. So somebody's asking about shelf stable. So our probiotics are designed to be shelf stable. They're in a nitrogen pack that's a blister pack that allows them to stay alive. And you always, with your probiotics, want them to be listed as CFU, colony forming units, which is shows that the probiotic is actually alive. So the ones that we carry do not need to be refrigerated. Many others out there do need to be refrigerated. But I see that people are asking lots of questions, and so my team will be putting those down on a sheet for me at the end, and I'll be happy to answer those. Susan is asking me about the Prescript Assist has changed its formula. Yes, we know, and we're not going to be carrying it. In fact, I formulated my own soil-based probiotic, so I haven't actually announced that yet. I'm in sneak peek right now, letting you know. So the Prescript Assist that we have right now, that's on my website, that's on sale, is the last of the remaining Prescript Assist, my understanding, pretty much in the country, of the old formula. So if you are a Prescript Assist lover, you might want to stock up. And again, this is not a scare tactic. This isn't some gimmick to just get you to come buy it. We were able to buy up a last bit that, because we buy so much of it, they offered us first dibs on buying the last little bit of it. And so we did in order to get us through this sale. So if you are a Prescript Assist lover, you may want to stock up on that because it's going to be going out of stock soon. You can't get it. I don't know the whole story. I think there was some fight or something between the people who formulated that. There's this version that we have, an older version, and they have to go back to the older version, and we're no longer going to be carrying that. I've actually been working since I got that news to formulate my own stool-based probiotic that will be coming out sometime next year. So again, if you're a Prescript Assist lover, stock up on that. And somebody asked about probiotics for SIBO versus Candida. We recommend the Prescript Assist or the stool-based organism for SIBO, and we recommend the 100 billion unit probiotic for Candida. And if you're somebody doing the Candida Challenge or Candida program and you want to do SIBO at the same time, there's some instructions within inside that program that will tell you how to do that. Okay, so third, what everybody wants to know is, frigging, what supplements should I take? Well, first of all, I cannot advise you as a physician over the internet. I can tell you what I recommend for all of my patients, which are 4 essentials, and I'm going to go over that. And then it really just depends on your own individual issue that's going on. So I can talk in some generalities here about certain issues that I personally deal with or that I deal with my patients and what I recommend for them to take when they're dealing with those issues. So the first and foremost is a multivitamin. And like I mentioned to you, I formulated my own multivitamin. It's called the Myers Way Multi. What really sets this multivitamin apart is that when I was writing the Thyroid Connection, there's studies showing, iodine and certainly selenium decreasing TPO antibodies just by adding in 200 micrograms of selenium. I couldn't find a multivitamin out there on the market that had the amount of iodine I wanted to have in a multivitamin and the amount of selenium that I have. Of course, it has a whole host of other things, including the premethylated B vitamins, zinc, magnesium, everything to support your thyroid is right here. The other reason I formulated this is when I wrote the autoimmune solution, a lot of people were overwhelmed by the sheer number of supplements. So I kind of wanted this to be one-stop shopping. So the Myers Way multivitamin, and we used to have these big honkin' green pills that I swore I was going to choke on one day. I always said if I die before, natural causes, it was either going to be dying on a bus in South America when I was in the Peace Corps or choking on a frigging supplement. So now we have these nice capsules instead of those big honkin' green pills that go down nice and easily. Or if you don't like to swallow a bunch of pills, you can actually just throw them in your smoothie and it will naturally break apart. So, and then somebody has asked, why didn't I add more calcium to this? And it was because it was going to make, the dose here is 6 pills a day, and it was going to make it 8 to 10 pills. And I knew people were going to get mad at me. So I decreased the amount of calcium in this in order to get this to be 6 pills. It's capsules now. This is the bomb. You're not going to find a more complete multivitamin out there on the market. You can use it if you have Graves, Hashimoto's, thyroid nodules, if you're somebody looking to hopefully ward off thyroid dysfunction, or you're just looking for optimal health. This is your go-to multivitamin. We do have a children's multivitamin as well that's chewable, but this is pretty much teenagers on can use this multivitamin. And honestly, I'm not just saying it, but to me, this is the absolute best multivitamin that you will find anywhere because I formulated it myself. Okay, so and multivitamin is super duper important. We just mentioned you can't get everything you need from your diet alone. And so a multivitamin is just kind of one-stop shopping. So I can't ever say if you only took one thing, what would you do? But that's one of the first things that I would do. Probiotics. We already mentioned more bacteria in us and on us than there are of our own cells. We are knowing the future of medicine really relies on the gut microbiome. Many people out there that I see in my clinic have yeast, they have SIBO, they have parasites, they have leaky guts. Nearly 80% of your immune system's in your gut. It is so important to make sure that your little rainforest down there is in balance. So 100 billion unit is what I recommend if you're trying to overcome any gut dysfunction, and 30 billion is maintenance. These are the 30 billion, but we have 100 billion as well. I already kind of went over that more about the probiotics. And these do not need to be refrigerated, which have been an absolute game changer for many people. You know, now it's just easy to travel with. And again, they're in an acid resistant capsule, and then they're in a nitrogen blister pack that allows it to not have to be, refrigerated. Okay. So, and then of course, I don't think I have them right here because they do need to be refrigerated, but if you're 2 or younger, I formulated an infant probiotic when Elle was born. She's literally taken it since the first day of her life. It does need to be refrigerated, but that is available. So I'm really kind of talking about the adult stuff here, but we do have everything that we have for an adult. We have available either in a pill, powder, or chewable, or liquid for children as well. The third essential that I recommend is omega-3s, is omega-3 fish oils, you know, where you all know that the root of all evil, just kidding, the root of all chronic inflammatory conditions is inflammation. So whether that's cardiovascular, that's autoimmune, that's, anything with itis in it, that is all about inflammation. So omega-3 fatty acids are essential. So ours are in a soft gel pack. There are 860 milligrams of, there's almost 1,300 grams of fish oil in these omega-3s. And they are in a patented technology that allows for much better absorption. They're almost like pre-digested. So they're 3 times stronger than the average omega-3 out there on the market. So you only have to take one of these to equal 3 pills of sort of the average omega-3s out there. So another reason why people really rave about these is it's just a lot less pills to swallow. So I'm always looking for ways to, either concentrate something, get more into a pill, have you not have to swallow as many pills. I literally, if you came over to my house and saw the counter, I take so many supplements, and so I take so many supplements, so I'm always looking for just better ways to, get supplements to you guys. Okay, so let's see. And then we have, let's see. Probiotics or multivitamin, probiotic, fish oils. And then the last one is vitamin D3 with K. So not everybody needs vitamin D3, although I really honestly have never seen anybody that I can think of in my clinic that was not vitamin D deficient. And I see people who travel from literally all over the country, if not all over the world, to see me. So it's not just like sitting down here in Texas, although I don't live in the north. So you'd think down here in Texas, where it's 80 degrees outside right now and bright and sunny, we definitely wouldn't have vitamin D deficiency. But, because they say because we're washing ourselves so much, we're destroying the oil that helps to convert vitamin D on our skin. And we are, all concerned about skin cancer. So we're either covering up or we're putting on lots of sunscreen that is really leading to vitamin D deficiency. And I have very rarely, if ever, seen somebody who's not vitamin D deficient unless they are already taking vitamin D when they come to see me. Now, the important thing about vitamin D, a few years back, we realized vitamin D, everybody has to take vitamin D. So people started taking mega doses of vitamin D. Then we started seeing some calcium plaques building up in arteries. And they realized these mega dosages of vitamin D without having vitamin K in it is leading to calcium buildup in places where you don't want it. And vitamin K, this is really, an example of it's always best to get your vitamins and nutrients naturally from your food. Again, I just went over why I don't believe everybody can do that these days. But when you take something out in isolation, we're kind of messing with nature. So the way that our body converts vitamin D is with K in it, and then it prevents the calcium buildup in the arteries. So we have now all of the vitamin D on my website is vitamin D3 with K2 in it to help prevent it from building up in your arteries and actually have it build in your bones, which is where you want it. So it's very important when you're getting vitamin D3 So when it comes to vitamin D3 is vitamin D3. So what makes it cheaper over the counter for people is either the amount that's in it, the oil that it's in. So I see it all the time in like peanut oil, soy oil, things that are icky, you don't want, can go rancid. Ours is in just a medium chain triglyceride oil and a vitamin E. So very natural, easy to absorb. So you need to look at concentration, what the oil is, and now you need to be making sure that it has vitamin K in it as well. Now, my vitamin multivitamin has vitamin K in it. So if you're somehow taking a different vitamin D3 that doesn't have K, as long as you're taking a multi like mine that has vitamin K in it, you're probably fine. But just to be sure, it's always better to take the vitamin D3 with K2 in it, which is super, super important. And we either have pills, which I personally like. They're 10,000 international units per pill. So for the average person, it's usually most of my patients take one every other day. Super vitamin deficient would take one a day. I don't want people taking that amount without being followed by a physician and getting their vitamin D checked. Or the liquid, which Elle has been taking, again, literally since the day of her birth. I believe the Academy of Pediatrics recommends 600 units per day. She's been getting 1,000 to 2,000 every day since she was born. And I literally just put, it's 4 drops. Ours is 2 drops per 1,000 units. So she gets 4 drops in her bottle every morning. Okay, so again, high quality multivitamin, high quality fish oils, omega-3 fatty acids that are certified mercury-free, and vitamin D3 with K are the 4 essentials that I believe everybody should be taking. Elle has been doing those minus the multivitamin since literally the first day of her life. She's been getting fish oils, vitamin D with K, and probiotics since the day that she was born. So you cannot start too early, in my opinion, with those 4 supplements. And then if you do have little children, we have a chewable vitamin, multivitamin. We have omega-3 fish oils as an oil. We have probiotics as a powder, or you can open it up. It's completely tasteless and put it in something. And we have the powder if they're less than 2. And then the vitamin D we have as liquid for kids. Alrighty, so let's move on to some kind of let's move on to, I'm just looking to see the comments. My staff will put these in for me. So let's move on to some special circumstances. So those with autoimmunity in my clinic, there are a couple of extra supplements that I recommend that's in what I call the, autoimmune solution kit. So I wrote about this in the autoimmune solution. And that is the immune booster, which is basically colostrum, so to speak, on steroids. It's bovine-derived immunoglobulins. So many people with autoimmunity have suppressed immune systems. I know they're going haywire. Some have enhanced immune systems, and this really helps to balance out the immune system. It has, like I said, IgG, IgA, IgM. It has all the immunoglobulins in it. Excuse me. It's really great for the winter months if you're looking, to support your health during flu and cold season. And of course, really great to help repair your gut. Colostrum and this and the immune booster are incredible. So I've also talked many a time how we used to be able to get this product dairy-free, and then a pharmaceutical company realized the value of this and they stopped supplying it and turned it into a prescription grade. It turned it into a prescription called Interrogam. They ruined the product by adding a bunch of GMO corn to it. So there is some minimal amounts of dairy in there. We are not able to get it 100% dairy free. So anybody who's, uber sensitive, you might want to avoid that. For most people, it does not cause a problem. Resveratrol is, likely you've heard about the benefits of drinking red wine. So it really helps to scavenge free radicals. It's full of phenols, and the supplement's about the same as drinking 2 to 4 glasses of wine. You might not get the, buzzy feeling, but you certainly get to avoid the alcohol, the sugar, and all the calories by taking the resveratrol. And it's a lozenge, which a lot of people like to think of as dessert. So that resveratrol, along with the glutathione, really and also the curcumin phytosome together, the three potentiate one another. So, resveratrol is good on its own, curcumin's good on its own, glutathione's good on its own. When you combine the three, they potentiate one another. So they're really, really helpful to help detoxify the body and balance out the immune system. So glutathione, you've probably heard me talk we need glutathione. It's found in every cell in our body. There's studies showing that people with autoimmunity, cancer, chronic illnesses have low glutathione levels. We just went to our storage unit. I know it's moldy. I literally just took 3 glutathione. I couldn't find mine because I had traveled with it. If you heard me talk a few days ago, I travel everywhere with my glutathione, and we just got home last night, so I couldn't find mine, and I was frantically searching the house, and I was like, wait, I'm going to be talking about supplements. I have a bottle on my desk, don't I? Great. Where's the glutathione? So I take tons of this every single day. I know that I have genetics where I do not make glutathione very well. Glutathione in general is not well absorbed. You need it usually gets broken down by the gut. The glutathione we have is an acetylated form that prevents it from getting broken down in the gut, and it's a nanotechnology. So it's really great for mold exposure. It's great if you're drinking alcohol and going to be out and about for parties. It's really great if you think that you have some sort of virus or something coming on because it's cold and flu season. It's just an all around, it's to me like the bomb of all bombs supplements that we carry. And then the curcumin phytosome that we have really, helps to scavenge free radicals. You've probably heard a bit about the benefits of turmeric, and it's that and more. Turmeric in general, you'd have to eat so much of it to get its benefits. This in the phytosome comes in a fat soluble form, so it can penetrate into the cell much better. So those are sort of the 4 supplements I recommend for anybody with autoimmunity, and I write about this in my book, The Autoimmune Solution. And then anybody dealing with digestive issues or leaky gut, you absolutely want to be taking both L-glutamine, which helps to rejuvenate the lining of your gut. And we have a new powder, which I personally love because it has 4 grams per spoon. And again, I just throw it in my smoothie. So that's how I love to take the L-glutamine. It's totally tasteless. You can also throw it in water. And then, of course, our collagen, which I have a bottle right back there. The collagen helps for leaky gut as well, in that our villi, which is where usually the problem is in leaky gut, are made up of collagen. And so adding in the collagen helps to sort of seal those holes, so to speak. Anybody dealing with thyroid dysfunction, Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, definitely the multivitamin. I formulated it for you. If you're somebody dealing with Graves', it's kind of surprising to me. People don't know about this, but of course I write all about it in the Thyroid Connection. We have some thyroid calming herbs that I talk about in the Thyroid Connection, and we have a formulation that's already blended with the bugleweed, the motherwort, and the lemon balm. Rather than having to go find each of those individually, it's right there, and that really helps to modulate the thyroid hormone and calm a lot of the symptoms of hyperthyroidism. And then we used to carry the Myers Way fiber as a powder, and we weren't getting such great reviews about it. And so we now have capsules, which makes so much better. This can help to bind thyroid hormone if you're dealing with hyperthyroidism. And I love it if you're dealing with mold exposure or any type of detox issue as well. And then of course, if you're dealing with hyperthyroidism or Graves', L-carnitine is super important to be taking, as well as CoQ10. So I write a lot more about that in the Thyroid Connection. But if you're, hyperthyroid, you're burning through L-carnitine and your CoQ10. So let me tell you about a few of my absolute favorites and that I, do every single day. So, and if you want a longer version of this, you can go back to the Facebook Live that I did 2 days ago, because I literally talked about everything that I took on my trip. But I personally take the essentials, right? So the multi, the fish oils, the probiotic, and the vitamin D every day. I take my vitamin D every other day because I do the pill. I drink a shake every single day. So I drink the Myers Way Paleo Protein Vanilla. This comes from Hydro Beef, and I literally went 5 years without a smoothie because I followed my own program and I wasn't doing grains, legumes, soy, whey, any of that kind of stuff, pea, all the other various forms of protein. And I thought, that doesn't sound very good. Hydrolyzed beef, the stuff is delicious, and I'm addicted. And I travel with this. I, have a smoothie every day. It's typically my lunch. Probably have one as soon as I get off this Facebook Live. People ask, is it okay for the Candida program, for the SIBO program? It is recommended and highly encouraged. It's very, very low carb. It has a tiny bit of stevia. We have a plain version that has no stevia. It's just literally hydrolyzed beef. And so, the amount of carbs in here is 4 grams, and it's probably 1 or 0 in the other. So great for anybody on a ketogenic diet, anybody doing any of the Myers Way programs, autoimmune paleo, SIBO, Candida, all that kind of stuff. Great way. In fact, we're going to be adding it into our Candida Challenge program in January. So we're rolling out a whole new program that's going to be amazing based on the feedback that we already got from our amazing program that we did in September. We've even made it more amazing, and that will be coming out in January. So I take that. I take the methylation support. Again, I have 2 copies of MTHFR. So here's the methylation support, my little orange pills that I see every day. So I take 2 methylation support, protein powder, the essentials, glutathione, and if I'm traveling somewhere that I'm concerned about mold, I will take the GI detox as well to help bind it, or the Myers Way fiber. So those are literally, and then I typically do the collagen and the L-glutamine. Whenever I do a protein shake, I just throw both of those in to kind of upgrade my shake. And looking around the countertop here to see flu season, I'll add in the immune booster. And then if I'm having any kind of, inflammatory situation going on, I'll add in the curcumin. So those are pretty much my go-tos. Let me look on my shelf over there and see if there's anything else that I forgot. Those are pretty much my go-tos. So I'm going to get to your questions here in just 2 seconds. Just as a reminder, if you joined us now, go back to the beginning. I had some really valuable information about why we need supplements, how to pick really high quality supplements. And I was not, directing you towards my store. I was literally giving you information about you making the right choices for you and making sure you're getting the highest quality supplements for you. So if you just joined us, please go back and listen to that. And know that as my gift to you guys for Cyber Black Friday and Cyber Monday through midnight Central Standard Time tomorrow night, all supplements, programs, and ebooks are 20% off of my store. The sooner you buy, the sooner you'll get your order, and we won't run out. I'm not sure if we've already run out of certain things or not. You can head to amymd.io/Cyber Monday and get any of the supplements. My team is going to put, rather than all the individual links of stuff that I talked to, they're going to put one sheet up there with all the different links so you can go to them if you want. And you can also go to amymd.io/supplements and see everything that I was just talking about. So if you are interested in any of the ebooks, a great time to get the holiday recipe ebook. If you didn't get it for Thanksgiving, we used some for our Thanksgiving dinner. They were a huge hit. The recipe book is incredible. It's, everything that I have on my website is approved for all my programs, autoimmune paleo in general, autoimmune solution, thyroid connection. So we have lots of ebooks, which is the holiday ebook, which is super popular right now, the autoimmune recipe ebook, which is just additional recipes if you're doing that, the elimination diet ebook if you're new to this and just kind of getting started, and then of course the reintroduction, how to reintroduce all of the foods back into your diet, figure out what you're sensitive to, what you're not. After doing any of my programs, you can do that. And then of course, if you've been interested in trying out one of the programs, little, curious as to whether you should or not, all of those are on sale right now as well. So we have the autoimmune solution program, we have a Candida program, SIBO program, parasite program, leaky gut program, and an elimination diet program. And best thing of all is that everything on my website, well, I shouldn't say everything, there are a few, I guess, an ebook, maybe not, but probably if you complained enough, which we don't ever get, we would give you that back too, but 30-day money back guarantee. So you can try a program. If it's not for you, which rarely we ever have that happen, supplement, any of those things, I really genuinely stand behind everything that I have on my website. And I'm here to serve you. So if I'm not serving you and it's not working for you, I want to know about it. So please, we don't like complaining just for complaining, but if you genuinely have constructive feedback, please send my staff a message. They'll take action on it. If it needs to get to me, they'll get it to me. We'll take action on it. So I am here to be of service to you. Okay, so I am going to jump over to your questions right now. And so after I take a sip of water. Okay, Patrina, I like that name, Patrina. How long should a person be on the 100 billion unit probiotics for leaky gut? Well, really until your gut is healed. And I have an article about how to know if your gut is healed, so you can head on over to my website and see that. As little as 30 days. For some people, it can be as much as 6 months. So it just really depends on what's going on with you, how many infections you have to treat, all that kind of stuff. So I would say minimum of 30 days, probably average is about 3 months. Longer side is probably 6 months. Susan, do you still recommend DGL Plus? I'm not really sure what that is. I mean, I know what DGL is deglycerated licorice. So in our let's see what we have in our, I'm just spacing on the name, but we have a gut healing product that maybe my staff will write under there. I cannot believe I'm spacing on the name. But anyway, GI Repair. Sorry, GI Repair has some deglycerated licorice in it. So when you see licorice, you always want to make sure it's deglycerated. Licorice can cause some people to have elevated blood pressure, and so when they deglycerate the licorice, it doesn't cause elevated blood pressure. So the GI Repair powder has deglycerated licorice in it. It's L-glutamine deglycerated licorice, I think mastic gum, and slippery elm, various things to help heal a leaky gut. In fact, it's one of the most popular products on my website. And so I'm not sure if you're referring to that product or not. If so, yes, I still recommend that, but I don't know what DGL Plus is in and of itself. Sharon, does magnesium help inflammation? Magnesium can be helpful for a lot of different things. It can help with stress. It can help relax muscles. It can help your heart. So I don't know about specific, when I think about inflammation, I think more about like fish oils, curcumin. They're very known as anti-inflammatory. Magnesium is incredible. It can help with, it's what you get if you're going into preterm labor with contractions. People are having seizures. It's very good at relaxing things. So that, of course, then can help inflammation down the line, but I don't see it as a one-to-one correlation with inflammation. Okay, Dan, do I also need to supplement them with the methylation support if I'm already taking the Myers Way multivitamin? That's a really great question. So the Myers Way multivitamin has a lot of premethylated vitamins in it. So if you're somebody who has no mutations at MTHFR, I would think, again, this is generalities, not specific to you, Dan, because I don't know you. But in general, if you have no mutations, and likely if you have one mutation, the multivitamin on its own should be enough. If you're somebody with 2 mutations like myself, I do recommend the multivitamin and, in addition, the methylation support. Griffin, do you offer a supplement for menopausal support? Yes, I do. We actually have a little kit that is 10% off, but now everything's 20% off. That is a hormonal support kit. So it has hormone AM and hormonal support PM. So it's a lot of different herbs like lemon balm to help with anxiety and things that can cause menopausal symptoms, either cause them because you're anxious or get caused because of menopausal symptoms, and things like black cohosh and whatnot to help with sleep. So those are 2 of the main supplements that I can think of. Also, that question made me remember 2 new supplements that we have that I didn't really mention in my favorite supplements, but they have quickly become two very popular supplements. And one is our blood sugar support. So that has, let me just tell you kind of the ingredients with the blood sugar support. I'm sure there's an easier way for me to do this, but let me see. My staff wrote it down for me. So, so the blood sugar support supplement has Vandium that helps support blood sugar. It has thiamine, niacin, chromium's probably the biggest player in there with the biotin. So there's studies showing chromium alone helps with blood sugar swings. You pair that with the biotin, and it had a much better absorption and action on blood sugar. And so that has really become a quick one for people with sugar cravings. So around the holidays, people who are dealing with candida and have sugar cravings, people who are pre-diabetic, diabetics, helping with blood sugars and sugar cravings. The blood sugar support has been one. And then also maybe my team could put in the Estro Protect ingredients for me as well. But the Estro Protect has become a really big go-to supplement as well. And I talked a lot about this, the Estro Protect, if maybe I talked about this when I was doing the Beauty Counter Facebook Live, because we women, and I know there are men on here today too, but there are a lot more women typically than there are men that I see, that we are being bombarded with estrogens or estrogen lookalikes, what are called xenoestrogens, in plastics, in beauty products, in makeups, in home cleaning products. And so any woman who's looking to sort of potentially combat her, I can't say potential for cancer risk, but it's an all-around great supplement that I think every woman should take, because we are being bombarded with these fake estrogens, which is then putting us in estrogen dominant states and raising our estrogen levels, even though they're not real estrogens. And it has calcium D-glucarate in it that helps prevent estrogens from being reabsorbed in the gut. It has DIM in it, which is comes from cruciferous vegetables and helps sway the bad the bad 16 to the good 2 ratio. It has NAC, alpha lipoic acid, milk thistle that help you to make glutathione and help with that phase 2 detoxification. It has turmeric in it, and black pepper, and some broccoli extract and resveratrol that just really help, and quercetin with inflammation. So it's a really great product for anybody who's looking to minimize prevention's always the best. Get the plastics out, switch makeups, all that stuff. But we live in the real world, and we can't get rid of all that 100%. So okay, I'm going to move along because there are lots of questions here. Okay, Amanda, I have Hashimoto's and suffering with recurrent yeast infections. Any advice? Yes, I have a Candida program. I'd highly recommend that. I also have advice in both the thyroid connection and the autoimmune solution. Best Beats. Is there a risk with digesting folate? I'm a little bit unsure about that question and what that means. I'm wondering if maybe you mean is there a risk of taking too much? The studies have shown with folic acid, which is synthetic, that high dosages of folic acid have been shown to cause certain cancers, or implicated in certain cancers. Maybe cause is too strong of a word, but the natural folates that we have in all of our supplements have not been shown to do that. Amanda, is your multivitamin good for pregnancy? Amanda, I have a prenatal multivitamin that I think you're better suited for pregnancy, because it has a little less vitamin A. It still has all the pre-methylated B vitamins in it. It has the iron in it that you need for pregnancy. So I'd recommend that over the regular multivitamin that I have. Okay, Sophia, how do you recommend taking the multivitamin? Should you take all 6 pills at once? And why is it important for children to take a multivitamin? The same reasons that I recommend an adult take a multi, same for kids. In fact, they have more that they're trying to combat, plus they're trying to grow and, you know, meet all their nutrient requirements. So in a way, it's almost even more important for a child, in my opinion, to take a multi. You can either take 2 pills 3 times a day of the multi. You can take 3 pills twice a day, or you can take all 6 at once. The way I say to take it, the best way that you're going to take all 6 and get all 6 in is the best way to take it. You do, if you're on thyroid hormone, typically I recommend taking it at lunch and dinner, so you can take your thyroid hormone in the morning away, because it does have some calcium in it. Nora, do I have a multivitamin without iodine? I do not. If you read the the Thyroid Connection, I believe we are all iodine deficient, and everybody needs some iodine. Okay. Maria, is it safe to take probiotics with strep? I don't know if you're talking about sort of chronic strep, like a pandas or something, or if you're talking about you know, with a strep throat. And if you're currently dealing with strep throat, I highly recommend that you take a probiotic to help with your immune system and to combat that. Okay, Joy, how do you organize and store your supplements? I'm running out of counter space. Me too, Joy. So when you have the answer, let me know. I have a whole section sort of our cabinets dedicated to supplements. I have more supplements than the average person, because I'm also always trying out supplements. And like right now, we're adding some new flavors of protein powder. So I have several bags of protein powder on my counter, trying different things. So I have all kinds of supplements. So I need to be better about organizing them, because right now it's chaos and it's driving my husband insane. Okay, Linda, what are the adequate levels of vitamin D? So on your lab, you will see between 30 and 100 is considered normal. Some labs have a little, you know, diagram, and they'll say like, you know, 40 is optimal. I disagree. The studies out there showing prevention for colon and breast cancer are between 60 and 80. So that's what I shoot for with my patients. Okay, so Michelle, if we have autoimmune issues, can you explain how adding more immunoglobulins is helpful? I've tested thousands of people with autoimmune issues, and many of them have suppressed immunoglobulins, whether it's just in their gut with IgA being low because of infections, to IgG being low, to IgM being low. But many people that I see have low immunoglobulins, even with autoimmunity. So it's not, so your immune system is more active, but that doesn't always correlate with your immunoglobulins being elevated. In fact, I cannot really think of a patient where I've seen elevated immunoglobulins on lab testing. Cheryl, okay, Cheryl, I'm taking 14 different supplements. How do I know if I'm overdoing it? I don't want to overload my liver. Well, first off, many supplements are not actually overloading your liver. Many supplements are getting filtered out by the kidneys. So there are fat-soluble supplements, which are D, K, A, and E, and those get stored. So you definitely could overdo those, and it's important to get those levels checked. All of the levels that I have in my supplements, typically you're not going to get overloaded in taking those, but those would be values that you could get checked at a lab to make sure. Certainly vitamin D, since people are taking lots of vitamin D, I do recommend that level getting checked. The other ones, I mean, worst case scenario, you pee it out. And I definitely probably take 14 different supplements. I cannot advise you personally, Cheryl. What I'd recommend is setting up a wellness coaching session with Dana, and she can advise you personally about, you know, what all you're taking. Is it enough? Is it not enough? Is it too much? All that kind of stuff. So 14 different supplements could mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and I don't know what health issues you personally are dealing with, but I can tell you, and with my patient population, I don't know the average number of supplements that people are taking, but I'm sure the average is about 15, if not more. So, you know, certainly you do need to be careful, but if your kidneys are functioning properly, that's not a problem. What you need to worry about is getting high quality, safe supplements, so you're not getting something like heavy metals in your supplements or something like that, where you're doing more harm than good because you are taking a lot of them. Okay, so Trisha, how much glutathione do you recommend, especially after detoxing from the holidays? Totally depends on, the person. One person who detoxes pretty well, the pills are 300 milligrams per capsule. They literally could just do one a day. Most people I'm dealing with who are dealing with, chronic autoimmune issues, heavy metal issues, mold issues, Lyme issues, all those types of things, they could take a lot more. When I'm in a really moldy place, I'll take 6 pills a day. Now, I mean, that's a lot. You cannot overdose on glutathione. There's some information showing that glutathione could have some magnesium wasting where it pulls out magnesium. So you might want to take some extra magnesium. But in general, there's not really a way to overdose on glutathione. What you could do is pull out a lot of toxins quickly. So you'd want to be careful of that, because glutathione does help detoxify you. If you're the average person, dealing with, a little hangover or something, probably 2 capsules twice a day would be helpful. Curcumin, we have, you also want to know how much curcumin. Again, these are averages or what I recommend to my patients. I can't offer very specific medical advice over the internet here. So these are generalities or things that I recommend for my patients or how I take them, which is 1 to 2 capsules twice a day. Maria, can you take B12 long term? Yes, some people actually cannot absorb B12 very well. So they have pernicious anemia, they have SIBO, they can't absorb their B12. So I have, some patients who take B12, literally lifelong. Alcoholics are B12 deficient commonly. So again, can't offer specific advice, but I do have people take it in the interim, and then I have people who are literally on it every day. So Sophia, do you recommend taking the multivitamin even if you haven't been diagnosed with any thyroid disease? Yes, I mentioned that everybody, in my opinion, for all of my patients, I recommend that they take the 4 essentials: multivitamin, fish oils, probiotics, and vitamin D3 with K. So that's just good preventative prevention. Jane, I always get an aftertaste with stevia. Is there much of it in the protein powder? Jane, I don't find that there is. If you have, an issue with stevia, then we do have a plain one that has no flavoring in it whatsoever, and you might want to start there. The chocolate and the vanilla have a little bit of stevia and does not have a strong stevia aftertaste. It literally is, to me, has, in the feedback that we get, you can go read the reviews on my store as well. We get that it's, a nice sweet taste with no aftertaste. Jennifer, do you discuss adrenal fatigue in any of your books? Yes, Jennifer, I discuss it in both of my books, The Autoimmune Solution and The Thyroid Connection. And anytime you order a copy of The Autoimmune Solution or The Thyroid Connection, if you purchase it at a bookstore, you get it off of Amazon, you can go back to my website, put in your receipt number, and I have over $100 worth of free gifts available to you. So if you're somebody new to either of those books and you plan to get one after this, you can come back to my website and enter your receipt number, and you'll get some free goodies emailed to you. Lori, where to start with supplements if someone has SIBO, Candida, leaky gut, and Hashimoto's? I would definitely start with the Thyroid Connection. If you don't have a copy of that, it will walk you through all of this. I would start with the Candida program, and in that, it will help you heal your leaky gut, and there's a way to do SIBO in addition to Candida while you're doing it, and we have information on that inside of that program. So you can kill a lot of birds with one stone. And there's a SIBO and Hashimoto's connection. So by getting rid of your SIBO and Candida, you may naturally help your Hashimoto's. Okay, Nancy, would it be best to do both the autoimmune and the thyroid supplements for Graves, or would you advise getting the thyroid supplements if you can't afford getting them all? So I would advise, there's a Graves or hyperthyroid kit, and that's what I would advise getting if you're somebody with Graves over the autoimmune if you can't do them both. So Jessica, is your multivitamin okay to take with the MTHFR copies? Absolutely. In fact, highly recommended because it has premethylated B vitamins in it. So Joyce, if your IgM is high, should you take the immune boost? I mean, I can't advise you personally. I do sometimes see high IgMs in my clinic, and they are typically, actually, I typically see low IgMs with mold and Lyme. So I can't advise you personally on that. Typically, I can't advise you there. Michelle, do we need to take the Saccharomyces boulardii with the Candida protocol? I don't include it in the Candida program because it is a yeast that can fight yeast, and some people work really well with Saccharomyces and other people react to the yeast. So that's one of those ones that we have on the website, but I recommend that you try it out yourself. We don't include it in the kit just because it's about 50-50 of who does great with it and who does not like it. Okay, Stephanie, what's the best time to take GI detox, and do you recommend taking the fiber capsules with it as well? So Stephanie, I typically, if I'm taking the GI detox and or fiber capsules, I normally wake up, take my thyroid hormone right in the morning, but what I'll typically do is get up, do the GI detox or the fiber capsules. I'll take my thyroid hormone a few hours later, and then I take, again, the GI detox or the fiber capsules, or both at night. So you definitely want to make sure if you're taking either or both of those, drink lots of water, take it away from any essential medications like thyroid hormone. The other thing you could do is take thyroid hormone in the morning and take sort of the GI detox after that, but before lunch, and then take the capsules again at night. I don't know what you're trying to achieve here. If it's mold detoxification, heavy metal detoxification, you can take them both together. You might want to start with one or the other. Make sure that you're still continuing with your regular bowel movements, and then add the other in, because these can be binding. They could cause constipation. So again, you just want to make sure that you're drinking lots and lots of water if you're doing those. Okay, so don't forget, everything on my store except for the body products, 20% off. So supplements, programs, ebooks, everything 20% off between now, midnight Central Standard Time, tomorrow. My team is available for you on live chat, on email, by phone, available to you should you have any questions about, your order, anything like that. We have staff that have headed into the fulfillment center over the weekend. They're helping to get orders out over the weekend. The earlier you order, the earlier your order will go out. When they go in tomorrow, they'll be back to their regular staff. They apparently have 4 people total rather than 2, picking and packing all of the supplements and packing them up to ensure that they get out in time to you guys. So the earlier you order also avoids any potential for something to be out of stock. And then somebody's asking about rosacea being related to Hashimoto's. I have seen them being related. I think about SIBO with rosacea or Candida. So Michelle is asking about Hashimoto's and Cytomel, and asking about her thyroid growing back. Highly, highly recommend that you read the Thyroid Connection. I talk quite a bit about this. I'm not sure what Ashley's asking about thyroid hormone as well. So Amanda's asking about her B12 levels came back high in her serum. So just real quick, I never check B12 levels, because if you're taking B12, it's checking your serum B12 level. So if you're taking something and you check it in your serum, likely it's going to be high because you're taking it. You hope it's going to be normal or high. What you want to know is, how are you able to utilize your B12? And that answer is not in a B12 level. I can only use 1/10 of the B12 I put into my body because of my methylation issues. So if you checked my B12 level, it would probably be sky high because I take a ton of it. But what I can use is very little. So you could get a methylmalonic acid level, which sort of tells you about your B12 levels, or I do something called a ion panel that tells me about the metabolites and how well you're processing B vitamins. So that's a little bit more sophisticated than this conversation, but just so that you know, I mean, I cannot advise you personally, but in general, that is the response that I give to my patients when they go to their doctor and they come back and say, wait a minute, I can't do this and whatnot. Hey, Mary, how are you? Tia Mary. We have Tia Norma over here today. She's out there playing with Elle right now while I'm doing the Facebook Live. Do I have anything for Parkinson's? Yes, lots and lots and lots and lots of glutathione. You can Google Dr. David Perlmutter and Parkinson's and glutathione, and you'll see IV glutathione is the best, but the pills that we have are amazing for people with Parkinson's disease, and that's usually a detox issue, and would highly recommend the autoimmune solution as well. Jessica's asking a great question. Are all of my supplements free of gluten, soy, milk, eggs, tree, wheat, nuts, and shellfish? Yes, about 99.9% of my supplements are free of all the common allergens. So thank you for bringing that up. Guys, I live and breathe what I do. I'm not going to recommend something to you that cannot fit into the way of life that I'm recommending for you guys. So there are some derivatives of eggs in one of the supplements. It's clearly labeled a derivative of soy in one of the supplements. And I think that's it. And a tiny bit of dairy in the immune booster. So all of that. Lulu Perez wanted to know, am I speaking, are you speak Spanish? Sí hablo un poco español. Yo vivía en Paraguay por 2 años. Pero it's better if I speak English. I can't certainly conduct a full medical exam in Spanish, but I can speak pretty well. I used to speak Spanish when I was in the children's ER all the time. All the other doctors would get an interpreter, and I didn't need to do that. So, sí hablo español. Y él está hablando español también. Or when she speaks, she'll be able to speak Spanish. Okay, everybody, hope you have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon. If you're interested in my personal life, don't know why you would be, but some people are, come follow me over on Instagram. We are going to go buy our Christmas tree. First time with the Christmas tree with Elle. I think hopefully she'll be able to come with us. So I'll be posting that on Instagram. Always post Instagram stories and just a little bit about my personal life over there. If you're interested, come on over. It's just Amy MD. Otherwise, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Relax up, do a little shopping online, and get geared up for your big Monday. I know my Monday is going to be very big with the sale continuing into tomorrow. Don't forget, I shared some great information at the beginning of this video, all about why to take supplements, how to look for high quality supplements, and then which supplements to take. So you can go back and watch this as soon as I'm done. You can press play and watch the beginning. All right, everybody, have an awesome afternoon. And again, thanks to my team who's out there across the country right now helping man the store and also help me with the Facebook Live. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Take care. Bye.